Richard Madden, eccolo qua Richard, grande Richard, ecco qua, la stupenda Priyanka Chopra Jonas. Il più amato degli italiani, Stanley Tucci. Ciao Stanley. Diamo il benvenuto ai produttori esecutivi Anthony e Joe Russo. Guys, your seats are here. E sempre altro calorosissimo benvenuto ai produttori esecutivi David Weil e Angela Russo-Otstot. Quindi ovviamente è una serie innovativa, una serie ovviamente una spy story fantastica, piena di azioni, colpi di scena per voi tre attori, per voi ragazzi, Richard, Priyanka, Stanley. Come è stato far parte di questo processo, di questa serie, di questo show molto particolare?
For me, it was a great joy. I love the script. I love the complexity of the script. And am I supposed to wait for a translation or just?
No, they have it. They already have it. They have it. Yeah.
Okay. I love the complexity of the script, the depth of the characters, and the really unusual aspect. The scope of it was astounding. But also, I'm a huge fan of the Russo brothers, of the actors involved, and I just thought, well, why not? And who knew what was going to happen? I didn't know it was going to be this big, I must admit.
I think for me the ambition of the show was what was very exciting. The idea that we're going to have an Italian series, the fact that we have an Indian series, we have, and the possibility of multiple shows around the world. It's such a unique, cool way of globalizing entertainment. And as someone who's worked in other countries before as well, it's a dream of mine to be able to see filmmakers, actors from multiple countries work with each other to create something as huge as this. It's very cool. That was, of course my character is awesome because when do you see amazing female spies in the spy universe? It usually is dominated by men, so that's a really cool thing too. But more than anything, the ambition of the show has never been attempted before, and it's very exciting to me.
Yeah, it's just super cool to be making this whole world that exists kind of around us. I think that's what really drew me in, was creating something that we can say is on the street beside you or in the house next to yours, this undercurrent that exists, and really kind of trying to make that world and being able to expand that with the Italian version and the Indian version and make this world as big and as real as possible is a really exciting prospect.
Grazie Richard. E ovviamente quando si parla del genere spionaggio, credo, da grande fan di cinema, da grande amante del cinema, credo che da un punto di vista produttivo per voi che fate e realizzate questi show, questi prodotti, sia molto complicato riuscire a superare i cliché, a fare qualcosa di nuovo, di innovativo, e ovviamente che possa essere interessante, affascinante per il pubblico. Come avete superato, come avete cercato di creare qualcosa di diverso con Citadel?
Well, what's interesting is when you're working in genre, and audiences love genre, that's why it's ubiquitous and why it's lasted as long as it has. You can subvert expectations because they're coming in with prescribed expectations about what is going to happen. And I think this show does an incredible job being like an onion that peels back slowly, where it keeps surprising you and subverting your expectation about what you believe is going to happen. It's filled with twists and turns. That's what makes it exciting, and that's why it's fun to work within genres, because you can surprise the audience. But I think it's and the other thing that is unique about it is this community of storytellers that we're building, as mentioned with our show Italy and India. It's also another unique way to explore genre is by building a community of storytellers around the world, all working together to tell one giant story. It's never been attempted before. That in and of itself is an incredible novelty.
Anthony?
I think Joe sort of summed it up really well.
David, would you like to add something to that? Vuoi aggiungere qualcosa?
I mean, no, Joe said it perfectly. The one thing I would say is that, in certain ways, Citadel, it's a love letter to the spy genre that we all love. Bond and Bourne and Mission Impossible, but we have a spy duo at the center of this piece. They are the heartbeat of the show. And so we try to take these conventions and turn them on their head to make this as modern and inclusive and sort of have a story that truly reflects the world around us.
If I could add to that as well, I think because usually we're following a singular protagonist in the spy space, that person can feel untouchable. And because we are anchored in a relationship between two people and two people who share a past that's been built upon secrets and lies, there's so much to mine there and lean into, and there's a lot of emotion that grounded us, and it made what might feel complicated and difficult or challenging about the production much more manageable, because the character, the emotion, the relationship was always leading the way.
Interpreti questa spia fantastica, fighissima, è un duro, no? Un vero e proprio duro, Mason Kane, ma ovviamente nel tuo personaggio deve, in questo caso, no? Non voglio fare spoiler, quindi niente, faccio un passo indietro, è complicato, te lo posso garantire, Nadia, non posso fare spoiler se non allowed, so sorry. Come è stato interpretare la dualità del tuo personaggio? È stato complicato, per un attore è complicato fare due personaggi allo stesso tempo?
It is complicated, but that kind of that opens up an opportunity for you. I kind of got to play one man and split him into two, and make it really clear who these two different men are. They're both, separate sides of the same coin. And so as an actor, it was challenging but exciting, because I got to really separate two psyches and work out where they cross over and intertwine, where they overlap with each other, and what traits are built into a person and your brain chemistry, and what are things that you behave because of your life experience. So kind of psychology-wise, that was really fun to play with.
Grazie Richard. Priyanka, tu nella serie sei Nadia Sin, anche tu sei una spia affascinante, una spia mortale, ovviamente non sei nuova al genere delle spie, ovviamente. Mi chiedo cosa ti ha portato a voler nuovamente interpretare una spia? Ti mancava l'azione?
Was I missing action? I don't know if I was missing it very much, but it's something that I'm confident in doing, and I love the idea of this incredible show and being at the helm of it with such a complex character, because she is, like Richard said, both our characters have a sense of duality, what they were before said incident and what happens after and who they become. So that was a lot of fun to be able to enjoy digging into that character, but also to work with the Russos was very exciting to me. I love working with people that I admire, I look up to, and to be able to get direction from them, see how they think and build this amazing universe was very exciting. And then David came in and sat me down for like 5 hours one day and just talked about my character and put all of that in the script. So I felt like this was a very respectful, but also at the same time collaborative experience, and that's just, it's wonderful and so much fun.
Grazie Priyanka. Stanley, eccoci. Tu sei un'altra spia, Citadel, ovvero tu sei la spia, il tuo personaggio, il personaggio di Bernard è quello che recluta le spie per Citadel, ovviamente che devono confrontarsi con il nemico acerrimo che è Manticore. Adesso tu hai interpretato nella tua carriera tantissimi personaggi, cosa ha di diverso Bernard?
I think the thing that makes Bernard different, usually in the spy genre, you have the lead spy, right? And then you have, who's usually a man, and then you have the tech guy, and then you have the guy who oversees the spy, the handler. And those are these sort of ubiquitous classic characters that we see in every spy movie. Like Priyanka said, like everyone's saying, that this changes things up quite a bit. You're never quite sure who's who or what's what. You have this team of a male and female spy working together. But then you have Bernard, who is sort of, in a way, a combination of all three of those characters that I just described. He's a tech guy, but he's also out in the field when necessary, and has been out in the field in the past. So he's a spy in his own right, but he's also the handler of all of these spies. So there's a lot going on there, and for that reason, it was very exciting to me to play the role, because, you know, it's not a caricature. It's not just this, you know, one-dimensional, two-dimensional person. He's a very complex person.
Gli spin-off sarà ovviamente lo spin-off italiano, con la nostra Matilda De Angelis. Vi volevamo chiedere come nasce questa idea di creare un progetto del genere con già spin-off italiano-indiano in preparazione e in produzione.
Yeah, well, that was really the idea that kicked this whole entire endeavor off. You know, Jen Salke, who is the head of Amazon Prime, called Joe and I and said, I have this idea. Amazon is really capable of, you know, we have a very wide global reach. We have wonderful relationships with talent all over the world. I'd love to do a show that has an English language component to it, a series, as well as other series around the world in a variety of languages, and run by the creative teams in a variety of countries. Joe and I thought that was brilliant because we've been very fond of global storytelling. We love how it is an experience that can kind of bind us all together, bring us all together from all over the planet, sharing stories, sharing our dialogue about those stories. It feels very uplifting and reassuring in a world that is so divided sometimes. It's this little moment where we can all feel connected despite our differences. So when Jen said that to us, it lit us up, and we went to work right away trying to find the right kind of story that could fulfill this idea. We were led to this global spy agency because we felt like it was something that could, you know, span the world, span the entire territory that we were thinking about originating stories from. Then our process became finding the right collaborative partners around the world to share this story with, to tell this story with. And again, like, we've been used to this idea of like stories that can travel globally, but we haven't yet done this idea of sourcing the story globally. That was the big innovation here for us, and what was so exciting. So that's a thrilling part of the process. It's you know, when you talk about why is this genre fresh, it's really, that is at the heart of, there's so many ways that everybody spoke to why this show is sort of a reinvention of the genre, but I think that is one of the most profound ways that it is.
Grazie mille, Anthony. Invece, Angela, David, qual è stata la sfida più importante sul set? Quanti colpi di scena purtroppo voi avete vissuto sul set?
I think the challenges came in the writing. You know, these are characters who have to play three different, you know, people at the very same time. There's so many twists and turns, so many secrets and lies. So it really became, I think, among all of us, this incredible collaboration of every day on set, checking in with each other. Where is this character in the scene? We're obviously shooting these scenes out of order. So who is, you know, Priyanka playing at this very moment? Is it Nadia? Is it Charlie? Who's Richard playing at this moment? What do they know? You know, and so it was this incredible jigsaw puzzle. You're like playing 3D chess at all times. But with great collaboration, I think you three were really able to find those incredible nuances in those characters and bring out the different personas that each of you had. But with every challenge is an opportunity, right? And so for us, it was just a thrill, I think, to be on set and for the four of us to really be able to play with these incredible artists every day.
Grazie mille, David.
Yeah, I just want to stress how meticulously organized all of our actors were. I mean, truly had an entire timeline, you know, outlining where they sit in each scene that we were approaching every day. And this was a big shoot. And, you know, we shot in the UK, we also shot in the US. And it was really a testament to their commitment, to their work ethic, and that set a remarkable tone across the board. I would also say, you know, and I love how David always points out that with challenge comes great opportunity. That was important for us on set because we had to come so well prepared with a plan, but also with an open mind that opportunities may present themselves throughout each day, and particularly as they relate to the other series to come. And that was really a lot of fun creatively for us to dig into and to watch out for and to think about, knowing what our partners were doing with their own respective series, and vice versa. And so they come to us with new ideas, we would go to them with new ideas, and it kept everything feeling very fresh. It was constantly evolving all throughout the shoot.
Grazie mille Angela. La cosa più importante per Stanley, il catering era buono? Il catering, was it good? The catering, was that good? The catering on set? Catering. The catering? I knew, lo sapevo, immaginavo, adesso lo so, tu sei molto pignolo, lo so, sul cibo, quindi... Avete qualche consiglio per chi vuole lavorare nel mondo del cinema, soprattutto farcela nel mondo del cinema?
We give the same piece of advice every time. When we started making movies, we had to rent a camera. It was very expensive. We had to buy film, which was expensive. You had to light it a certain way, and it required infrastructure and a crew. It was difficult. I think you live in a time where you can shoot a really credible story on an iPhone, and you have free distribution on the internet. You can put things on YouTube, and people can see them. We tell the story a lot about how we found Donald Glover for Community because he was shooting short films on video camera with his friends while he was at NYU. Somebody sent that to us. We saw it 3 years later when we were casting Community. We said, hey, that really talented comedian that we saw in those short films from NYU, he was a film student at the time, let's bring him out. And so people can see your work. I would shoot things as much as possible on an iPhone, and I would post them online. You can do a 30-second TikTok, you can do a short film and put it on YouTube. You have so many options. Just go out and tell stories and do it as much as you can.
Ragazzi, per gli attori, avete qualche consiglio per chi vuole invece diventare attore?
I would say, Joe's so right about what he said about, about filmmaking, how filmmaking has changed in so many ways for the better. I think the same holds true for actors, in the sense that the thing is, acting never changes, right? So the only thing that really ends up being consistent is the truth. So the goal is, and I think this can hold true for a filmmaker too, is that don't ever try to copy someone else or be like someone else or whatever the flavor of the year or month is. Don't try to be like that as a filmmaker or an actor. Just be yourself. It may take a little longer than you expect, but be yourself and be true to yourself and be true to the piece. Don't try to stand out. Just be truthful to the piece. And once you do that, people will recognize that and respect it. And you'll have a longer, better, more interesting career.
Vorrebbero sapere dal pubblico quali sono stati i momenti più divertenti per voi attori sul set.
The funniest?
Yeah.
Oh, how to one. The funniest moment for me was we finished filming this show after a year and a half, and Richard Madden goes upstairs and shaves his head. So that they don't call him back.
It had also been dyed for a very long time, and I'm happy to go back to being grey for a moment.
All these things.
Yeah, right. We just didn't want to call them back for another shot.
Per i produttori chiedono, vorrebbero sapere se Citadel nasce fondamentalmente, racconta di questo gruppo di spie in giro per il mondo che vengono ovviamente assemblate per difendere e combattere ovviamente il male maggiore che è rappresentato da Manticore. Ecco, praticamente suona come gli Avengers ma con le spie, quindi chiedono, era questa l'idea iniziale per voi?
I mean, look, I don't think we necessarily thought of it that way, but there are certainly connections between superheroes and spies. They may not have supernatural powers, but part of why we're all fascinated with spies is they have talents and abilities and skills that go far beyond, and resources that go far beyond what we're capable of, each of us in normal life. Those of us who are actual spies, I mean. But so I think that's part of it. Maybe the wish fulfillment element to it in the same way as a superhero. You can kind of transcend the sort of boundaries of normal, boring life that we're all bound by. And I think so at that level is there's a connection. But I think again, also there might be a connection in the global ambition of the storytelling. You know, again, stories that involve events that affect all of us all around the world. Like that's a part of both genres as well. Again, because we are trying to create this global story, not only in its setting but also in its telling. So I think there are certainly connections there.
Richard, e Priyanka, volevo sapere se il vostro italiano nel film ve l'ha insegnato Stanley Tucci.
Are you fluent in Italian?
Not at all. If I were, I wouldn't be using this.
You heard it here first. He can't speak Italian. Proof.
Priyanka's very lucky that I did not teach her Italian.
I'm actually fluent in Italian.
No? Sicura? No.
Just with the hands, you know, Italian.
We all
Richard, hands.
Yeah, I know, we do that a lot. Richard, what about your Italian?
My Italian is shocking, it's all just a lie. I just try and learn just that bit to make it look believable. I wish I could, I'm terrible at this, I should just lie and say I can speak all these
You should, I'm telling you, people will actually believe it. I speak 5 languages.
Yeah, but then someone will ask you a question in Italian and won't be able to respond.
It's true, it's just a joke, I'm joking.
Richard, you just nod and go, sì.
Se il vostro genere preferito da bambini era quello delle spie, dello spionaggio. Questo perché avete già fatto anche altri progetti sulle spie, quindi per questo se lo chiedono, credo.
I mean, we loved a lot of genres growing up. I think we were media junkies, you know, we read comic books and played Dungeons and Dragons and went to the arcade for hours and watched movies, TV shows. We certainly love genre because it's propulsive. You can tell really compelling stories in the genre space where you can infuse it with deeper thematics that perhaps allow people to process things in a way that they couldn't if the material were, you know, hardcore realism. And that's what we love about working in genre. I don't know if Spy in particular is a favorite. We love it. You know, if it comes on, I'll watch it. I've seen every Bond film, you know, since the beginning. But you know, this getting the opportunity to play in a world this rich was very exciting.
I think, again, like Joe was saying, all these genres are fascinating to us, but I think the connecting point for me on a personal level, if I go back to my youth, was I was obsessed with fantasy. And I would carry around a copy of one of the books of the Lord of the Rings for a few years there in my youth. Like everywhere I went, it was like a Bible. It was like my constant companion. But I think that's how I branch into, you know, sort of comics and spies and, you know, all the sort of fantasy genres that sort of take our real world experience and heighten it.
Richard, Priyanka, Stanley, vi piacciono i film con le spie? I film di spionaggio?
Yeah, I always loved the spy genre when I was a kid. Like Joe said, like the Bond movies. The Bond movies for me, I couldn't wait for them to come out. And still, at my age, I can't wait for the next one to come out. I mean, I really get a kick out of them. When I raised my kids, we would watch them together, and everyone became big fans. We'd talk about which movie and so and blah blah blah. I just love them. So any kind of spy thing I've always been a fan of, which is why it was really, really interesting to be a part of this.
I like a lot of genres. I did grow up liking and loving romantic comedies. It's a little bit of a departure from this, but that was kind of the tone of movies I liked growing up. And then I think, discovering the spy genre, thrillers, crime, I love being able to, I'm very moody with the entertainment I consume. So depending on my day, that'll be the end of my night. So if it's a bad day, I might need someone to be kicking ass.
All right. Buonasera, Richard.
And I love the spy genre. I love things that deal with humanity at its extremes, and the spy genre does that. It's life or death stakes, and then that's why this appealed to me so much, is because we see people in these extreme situations, and then also in these very intimate, delicate situations. We've tried to match the two, from not quite rom-com, but drama and intimacy.
The rom of the com.
The rom of the com, yes. That drama and intimacy, and kind of collide it with this huge action spy genre. I think that's what these guys have tried to do so new to this to the spy genre. We're trying to create something different, and that's how we've done it.
Appunto, l'ultima domanda sempre per te, Richard, perché vorrebbero sapere quanto è stato complicato per te, che ovviamente sei la spia maschile del protagonista della serie, costruire il personaggio della tua spia, considerando che ovviamente tutti quanti quando pensano alla spia hanno in mente 007.
I think he's a very different man, and what I kind of really liked about this was, he's this top spy, co-top spy, and then we wipe his memory, and we get to see just a regular man, and the audience get to go on this journey with us, and they get to see through his eyes the world of Citadel as he's discovering himself. And without giving much away, as the series goes on, you're going to learn a lot more about the world and about these two characters and their history. That really just elevates it to something different.
Grazie mille Richard, questa era purtroppo la nostra ultima domanda, è stato bellissimo passare questo tempo con voi, farci questa chiacchierata insieme. Vi ringrazio, vi ringraziamo tutti quanti, ovviamente aspettiamo con ansia di vedere tutti quanti gli episodi di Citadel, ricordiamolo che i primi 2 episodi usciranno il 28 aprile, e poi ovviamente un episodio a settimana fino al gran finale che ovviamente ci sarà a maggio. Ovviamente ragazzi noi vi ringraziamo anche tutti quanti gli studenti di cinema dell'OIEC, della Roma, e anche ovviamente della scuola di e anche dell'Accademia Italiana. Grazie ancora a tutti e l'appuntamento è sul Prime. Grazie mille.
Happy New Year.
Grazie a tutti.